Come palaki.
This is the cinema. Have some respect. That's it, buddy. You're out of here. No, fella. Move that ticket. That's enough, fella. Move that ticket. Oh, well, if it isn't Mr. Peanut again. Out you go. They do not pay me enough to deal with this baloney. Get up. Get out. If it isn't Mr. Toasty. Well, if it isn't Mr. Talks Too Much. Walking boots on. Right there! Time to go, Gabby Goose. Right there! Everybody!
So what, guys? I've got one for you.
They do not pay me enough to deal with this baloney. Get up, get out.
Enough already.
Señor Grinch.
Goodbye.
This is the cinemas. Have some respect.
From Software is a Japanese development studio known for making some of the most challenging and creative games on the market. Though they became popular with the release of Dark Souls, they've actually had a long history of video game development, beginning in the early days of the PlayStation, where they actually originated. Originally founded on November 1st, 1986, they weren't focused on video games in those days, but office productivity software. That's right, the makers of Dark Souls were basically helping Bill Lumber from Office Space torture people with PTSD. This might actually explain some of the later NPC dialogue the Soulsborne games became known for. Suppressed and insane mutterings by characters who slowly melt apart and compress, trapped in a dismal cloud of gloom, decay, and perpetual misery that they can never escape. You know, exactly how every office worker feels all the time. FromSoft didn't start to shift away from productivity software until 1992, when they learned about the upcoming launch of Sony's first video game console. Instead of using cartridges, which most of the other video game companies were doing at the time, the PlayStation would use compact discs. And since FromSoft had been using discs to distribute their productivity software, they didn't take a huge investment to move over to video. Their first game, King's Field, a medieval-themed first-person role-playing game, launched on December 16th, 1994, 13 days after the PlayStation console went on sale in Japan. In King's Field, you play as John Alfred Forrester, a prince trying desperately to find his father, who went missing in an underground graveyard. While the first King's Field game never made it outside Japan, it was still met with critical acclaim by the local gaming community, resulting in a sequel, King's Field 2, which was eventually brought over to the international market. Though King's Field never reached the popularity that the Souls games eventually did, it featured a lot of similar gameplay elements, such as a high degree of difficulty, a small amount of NPC characters, washed out dull colors, and an emphasis on combat rather than story. A lot of the games from Software were going to make will follow this exact formula, even though many video game reviewers are claiming these issues were big problems for the series. From Software followed King's Field 2 up with King's Field 3, which again provided an international release, but was called King's Field 2 in America. On July 10th, 1997, From Software released Armored Core, a title that would take the company to moderate success in Northern Ireland. In Armored Core, you play as a mech who becomes a member of the Ravens, a mercenary group contracted by enormous corporations who began to dominate the world. Reviewers gave Armored Core pretty high marks for the fast-paced combat and mech customization, but it was criticized for its lack of cohesive story.
They do not pay me enough to
Aside
deal
from
with this
customizing
baloney.
the
Get
mech,
up,
which
get
I
out.
was freaking awesome,
If it isn't Mr.
there wasn't much of an incentive to play. Still, Armored Core became a well-known and popular franchise that would enable From Software to continue making games for the game. Shadowfall, released in 1998, was King's Field, except for the test. It was made to be an entirely new IP for the company, but it was the same game, just wearing different clothes. King's Tower Field was the first-person dungeon named Shadow Tower, to kill demons in order to save the community. Despite being a remake of an earlier game destroying a different count, Shadow Tower introduced some unique concepts that would go on to become staples in the first game series. Each piece of equipment your character wears has a durability limit. When an item is damaged or broken, it needs to either be repaired or replaced. Shadow Tower also introduced a mechanic where you can block with your shield. Whereas in Kingsfield, the shield was an item that added to your overall defense, but you couldn't use it to block. Other games did it first, but it seemed like with each iteration of the action-adventure genre, From Software kept getting closer and closer to the formula it was used for the first place. Echo Knight was a first-person survival horror game, released in North America on August 30th, 1999. It's a really odd game. You play as Richard Osmond, who, thanks to magical objects found in his deceased father's house, is transported to the past to relive events. His mission in the past is to find out what happened to a ship called the Orpheus, which disappeared at sea and was never found. First, I thought it was a puzzle, until a floating evil ghost girl picked me up and started tossing me around with the wagon. The game features no real weapons, but an opponent where you make something right in order to escape them. It also featured 4 different endings based upon choices you end up making during the game. It is really bizarre, and by the pretty mixed reviews it received, I'm not the only one who thought so. Echo Knight would get a sequel titled Echo Knight 2: The Lords of Nightmares, which wouldn't be released outside of Japan. While Echo Knight didn't go on to sell very many copies, From Software gained a bit of experience in creating core elements of the game. It also brought the idea of multiple endings to a story into From Software's wheelhouse, which proved to be invaluable for future games. As the launch for the PlayStation 2 was steadily approaching, From Software wanted to update their games catalog with new IP. This resulted in Eternal Ring, which came out on October 24th, 2000, a few days prior to the PlayStation 2's official North American launch. In Eternal Ring, you control King Morgan, a magician sent to investigate the island of No Return. Eternal Ring had some pretty mixed reviews. Some praised the graphics and the story, and others realized From Software once again remade Kingsfield, except with improved graphics and more magic. Then came Everrace. Oh boy, what a complete pile of Somehow this found its way out of Japan and got an American release on October 26, 2000. Then it got a European release on March 30th, 2001. From Software intended for this game to be a PlayStation release, but it proved too ambitious for the console and they had to remake the game from scratch on the PS2. In Everrace, you play as Gary, a swordsman, or Charlene, a homemaker, with 2 very different storylines and ways to fight. In it, you explore the Ruban Empire and attempt to discover the mystery of the Crest, a series of markings that some people believe conjure misfortune for the world. The American release saw some incredibly sad voice acting to the story, and just the worst soundtrack imaginable. Just listen to this. It'll make me 100 times stronger. Let's just find the option menu and turn that down. So much better. To my knowledge, they never made a sequel to Everrace, and we can all think whatever god is out there that stopped it from happening. Luckily, FromSoft was about to redeem themselves by releasing one of the best net games of all time 3 months later. Armored Core 2 came out on August 3rd, 2000. And despite not boasting any DualShock support for the PS2, it still managed to be one of the better games From Software ever produced. It was fast. It was customizable. It had a lot of varied missions and fun multiplayer that usually comes in the long sword-arm weapon. Apparently the world agreed, because Armored Core scored pretty highly across the board with game reviewers, who praised the graphics and the responsive gameplay. They followed Armored Core 2 up with the most laughably light-hearted game From Software has ever made. Let me remind everyone real quick that this is what the company went on to make. But they also made this. The Adventures of Cookie and Cream followed the story of 2 brothers, and Cookie and Cream, they venture out into the world to find the Moon Festival. It's one of the most light-hearted and yet entertaining games I've ever played. You control both things at the same time using the two analog sticks, and you have to solve environmental puzzles on both sides of the screen to complete the level. To create sets for free, you have to use physics. If you don't cross the goal line with both buttons, you can't finish the stage. The best part is, each stage has a timer. In order to get more time to complete the stage, you need to grab all the silver and golden blocks you can while you solve the puzzle. It was a very unique game, and it received a lot of positive reception, almost as much as Armored Core 2. It was eventually remade for the 3DS. I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you've ever played Mario Kart. When Armored Core Last Raven was released in 2004, a new force had arrived at From Software, and would change the course of the company forever. Hideki Miyazaki was 21 years old when he joined From Software. After playing Ico in 2001, Miyazaki began to think more and more about what he wanted out of his life. So he applied to From Software in order to work on video games. His passion quickly elevated him to the position of project manager for Lost Raven, and then to the position of director for Armored Core 2 and its sequel, Armored Core, Short Answer, in just 1 year. FromSoft was in the process of creating an entirely new IP when Armored Core 4 wrapped up. Only they decided to scrap the project entirely and recycle the assets from the arena. Miyazaki approached company leadership to use the failed project in order to make a new game, and they agreed. If he failed, no big deal. There were no expectations for it to be good, but if it succeeded, he could carve out a new role for himself doing exactly what he wanted to do. Demon's Souls was the result of that failed project. Although it had a spectacularly bad showing at the 2009 Tokyo Game Show, sales soon began to pick up after that. Though it did so very, very slowly, as word of mouth spread around Japan about the game's difficulty and unique fast-paced combat. Sony refused to publish the title internationally, but Atlus picked up distribution rights. Demon's Souls spread across the world, letting players for the future. To say that Dark Souls put From Software on the map as a game development company would be a massive understatement. Released for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in 2011, Dark Souls created an entire genre of Souls-like titles that attempted to replicate this wild success. Dark Souls shipped over 13 million copies worldwide and holds the record of being the most sold game on launch day for Bandai Namco. Dark Souls cemented Miyazaki's career at From Software, propelling him into widespread fame for his role in creating the game, proving to everyone that his ideas about where to take the action-adventure genre were right on target. Work soon began on a follow-up title, but Miyazaki would not be taking charge of the new project, much to the dismay of many die-hard fans. Instead, Dark Souls 2 would be led by Tomohiro Shibuya and Yui Tanimura, with Miyazaki acting in a supervisory role. Dark Souls 2 met an incredible amount of success, despite not having Miyazaki at the helm to direct the game, and went on to ship over 2.5 million units worldwide. Though if you ask a Souls fan what their favorite game in the series is, they're not likely to say Dark Souls 2. To many players, it was a step back from the original that failed to capture some of the magic. But for others, it was the proper step into a new sequel. Bloodborne released on March 24th, 2015. Miyazaki had been a huge admirer of H.P. Lovecraft, Bram Stoker, and oddly enough, even George R.R. Martin. The Bloodborne team traveled to Romania and the Czech Republic before developing the game, soaking in the architecture heavily featured in the setting of Bram Stoker's novels, specifically Dracula. The plot of Bloodborne was largely inspired by the collected works of H.P. Lovecraft, the word it linked about the Great Old Ones, powerful deities from space who rest in a death-like sleep in the earth. The game received critical acclaim, like all those in the Souls series. It is almost unanimously agreed upon that Bloodborne is a gaming masterpiece. To To further cement that claim, Bloodborne also received one of the best DLCs of the Soulsborne series, in my opinion, The Old Company. Dark Souls 3 released worldwide on April 12, 2016, and is the last of the series with Miyazaki on the seat of Game. In Dark Souls 3, you play as the Ashen, who is sent on a very impossible task, returning the lords of Cinder to their throne. It was the first of the Souls game to return back to Anor Londo, following Shrine and some of the set pieces from the original game. It ended up receiving 2 DLC expansions, Ashes of Agamemnon and The Winged City, which didn't answer any questions in terms of story, like many fans had expected, but gave a few more good moments with the series before it ended. After release, Miyazaki said that Dark Souls 3 would mark a turning point for both the games and the company, as his role inside the studio changed from game developer to president of From Software. Itagaki Miyazaki certainly turned From Software around. As evident by the history of the company, we saw many games in the course of this video that had very good ideas, but failed in how they were executed, receiving only moderate success. With Miyazaki at the time, the stage is set for From Software to advance as a company and as a game development studio. In 31 years, From Software came to making office productivity software to attain the title of one of the most influential video game developers of our time. Personally, I can't wait to see where they're going to continue, and I can't wait to see what From Software brings us next.
Oh, it isn't Mr. Peanut again. Out you go. They do not pay me enough to deal with this baloney. Get up, get out.
Enough already. Bye.
This is the cinemas. Have some respect. They do not pay me enough to deal with this baloney. Get up, get out.
Come palaki.
This is the cinemas. Have some respect. That's it, buddy. You're out of here. No, fella. You got cookies. That's enough, fella. Move that cookie. Mr. Peanut again. Out you go. They do not pay me enough to deal with this baloney. Get up, get out. If it isn't Mr. Toasty. If it isn't Mr. Talks too much. They do not pay me enough to deal with this baloney. Get up, get out.
Enough already.
Señor Grinch.
Bye.
This is the cinemas. Have some respect.